Man.
Dune, baby. Let's talk about Dune, baby. And all the Dune and all the Dune times. Timothy Chalamet and Zendaya sticking his hand in a really scary box. What did you think I was going to say?
I don't know.
Why'd you make that face?
I don't know.
Welcome to PODZILLA. It's a digital discourse in pop culture, and you are in the Dune episode.
Yeah.
This episode is pretty much going to be entirely dedicated to Braden explaining what Dune is for anyone who doesn't know what Dune is. We might talk about some other things, but we're going to talk about Dune first and foremost, and maybe the whole time.
We'll see.
It's a long book.
It's a
lot of books.
It's a lot of books, but we're only going to talk about the first one because that's all I read.
Do you know how many books it is?
Well, it's 6 in the like original Dune saga. It's written by Frank Herbert, and he wrote 6.
Love that guy.
He's the best.
Love Frank.
Man, what's Frank up to? He's actually dead. Never mind.
Oh.
And 6 books.
Yes.
Frank wrote 6 books. His son, Brian Herbert, has written a bunch of other stories of Dune. But it's kind of I don't think word on the street is he's just cashing in on that dad idea.
On that sweet Herbert money.
Yeah, he is. I haven't read them. I don't know. You tell me.
You've only read the
not.
first book.
I only read the first book because I'm really excited for the new movie.
Did you see the movie? Did you watch the old movie?
No, I've never seen it.
I've only seen it once on TV, and I don't remember much of it.
Yeah,
and I've intentionally once the Dune trailer dropped.
Yeah,
I knew that you were reading it, and so I've kind of intentionally. I don't know much about it personally, so I've kind of intentionally kept myself from researching it because I know that you were reading the book, and you had said let's do an episode where we kind of talk about it.
Yeah, like a beginner's guide. I'm not going to do any spoilers first and foremost, because it's a movie. It's a movie, and like you might not read the books, but I know you're excited for the movie.
Yeah.
Oh my God, is it complicated?
I mean, I might read the books depending on how well you sell it right now in this moment.
Okay, hang on. Let me go grab my book.
Okay.
Because,
and I'll sing the song again. Dune, baby. Let's talk about Dune, baby. Let's talk about Timothy Chalamet and Zendaya and Oscar Isaac and Josh Brolin. Dune, baby. This episode's on Dune. And me, I panicked. I'm sorry.
I cut most of it.
Okay. Here, let's put it next to I want to put it like this, and then maybe everybody can appreciate it.
Hey, how about this?
Just put him behind it?
No, we have him hold it.
Oh.
I mean, he does have short little stumpy arms. Let's see.
For those of you who listen to the podcast and don't watch it, we're having our Godzilla. He's going to hold the book Dune.
Oh, almost.
He's kind of hugging it. There we go.
Yeah. I don't know if that's centered or not, but regardless.
It's perfect.
This is the book. Boy, is it a lot. It's a lot, man.
It doesn't look like that long of a book.
Well, here's the crazy thing. So the book, the story is about 600 pages. It's 617 pages. And then you see all this?
Yes.
So in the back.
Is that like a dictionary or something?
Yes. So it's the appendixes.
Right.
So, okay. So first things first. No spoilers in Dune. This is just giving you the basic knowledge because in 1980 whenever the original Dune movie came out, the director wrote a pamphlet that he had the movie theaters give out to people walking into the theater, and it basically gave you the context of the world because it's such a big, insane, complicated, and deep universe. And in the book, you just get thrown into it.
Right.
But in a movie, he couldn't explain it all, so he just printed out a piece of paper and you sat down like, this is Dune. Dune is Arrakis, there's spice on it, and then blah, 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 blah.
Uh-huh.
This movie is not doing that, obviously.
Right.
This movie's gonna split this book into 2 parts. So
it'll be half the book, and then there'll be a
half
sequel.
the book, yes.
Did they film all of it at once? Do you know, or
I don't know.
or are they waiting to see if it's successful before they?
It hasn't been greenlit yet.
It seems like it's franchise ready. Everybody wants another franchise, like another sci-fi franchise, and it might be a good time for it.
I've always heard, I've always known about Dune. Never seen the movie. Obviously never read the book until now.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. It shocks me that it's taken this long for it to come into mainstream culture, and hopefully it takes, because I would love to see this spread out. Right. Now, Denis Villeneuve, the guy who's making the movie, he said he's only making this book. He's only making the first one. Like, these are standalone, which makes sense to me because these characters are only in the first 2 novels.
Okay.
It kind of...
The world expands.
And then I think it's between the 3rd and the 4th book, or the 4th and the 5th book, it jumps forward like 5,000 years into the future.
Okay.
Which this is already 8,000 years in the future.
Let me read some of this appendix without context.
Yeah. So, okay, just to set the stage, you should make like a...
Okay. Like a wind whistle. Okay, it's happening.
Then like a
okay. You want like
set the mood.
You want like an original soundtrack?
Yeah, score it.
Okay.
This David's taking over editing, so we're just gonna make all the requests now.
Yeah.
Let me
This is an original score that you're hearing underneath.
I wonder if there's like a...
Oh, yeah, that's great. This is what color the planet is, right?
Yeah, it's all...
Well, we should keep this color.
I like it.
All right.
Everybody good with it?
It's the Dune episode.
It's the Dune episode, everybody. Oh, wait, the floor is still purple, which I kind of like. Should the floor stay purple? These lights?
I think make it all orange. Just make it all Dune-y.
You got
it. In the meantime, I'd like to tell everyone what a karama is.
Please do.
Do you know what a karama is off the top of your head?
God, no. I don't remember.
It's a miracle, an action initiated by the spirit world.
Ooh. All right, so let's set the stage. Should we dim the lights at all? We'll do it in post. It'd be all right. If you want to make it darker, make it dark.
Maybe.
Or let's just play around. We're not getting anything done anyways. Too pink.
Ooh. Yeah, I like that.
You like this?
It's Dune.
It's the Dune episode.
It's the Dune episode.
Okay. All right. So, I don't know where to start.
Dune.
Where do we start? So, to set the stage.
Right.
We're on the planet Arrakis, also known as Dune. So it's a planet completely covered in sand and mountains and just a real tough environment. Water is basically non-existent. Like basically non-existent at all. It's like a Mad Max style world in a way, but it's just like water is the like life force of this.
So was Waterworld made after this? And it's because Waterworld is like the reverse of Dune.
This was published in 1965, I believe.
But
so
was Waterworld a book before it was a movie, or was it just a movie?
I think it was just a movie.
I think it was just a movie, a Kevin Costner movie, but that's like the reverse of Dune is Waterworld.
Yeah. Okay, no. Well,
was it a book first?
Is
it in the Dune series?
It's a book based off the movie. So
okay,
it doesn't count. It was a movie. Planet of Arrakis. Dune, desert planet. It says that in the first chapter like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah,
Arrakis, Dune, desert planet. That was the one thing out of the first chapter that I was like, okay,
I got it.
Yeah, Arrakis is
It
called
took
Dune,
them a minute, but we got here.
Yeah. Just picture this. Picture a mother. Close your eyes. Shh.
Oh, there it is again.
It's a mother and a son. They're walking through the desert.
Mm-hmm.
They're walking out of rhythm. One will take 3 steps and stop. The other will take 2 steps and like a side step and stop. 3 steps, stop. No rhythm. because
Can I open my eyes?
if you want to.
I was scared in there. It was quiet and scary in there. And they're out in the desert just walking.
They're walking out of rhythm.
Uh-huh.
Why are they walking out of rhythm? Why not just walk in a straight line? That's because there are sandworms that are not your typical worm. In the book, it says there's up to 400 meters, which I don't know how many feet that is. How many feet is 400 meters? Wow.
A lot of feet.
1,312 feet.
That's a big worm.
It's a big old worm. Yeah. They are attracted to any sort of vibration in the sand, any sort of anything that makes a noise. They'll poke their little heads up and see what's going on.
They're big heads.
They're big heads. So why are they on this planet with demonic worms covered in sand with no water? They're harvesting what's called the spice. It's also called melange. Took me a long time to figure out that spice and melange were the same thing in this book. But they are. The spice is a drug. The wealthy use it. And it also makes space travel possible. It's got a bunch of different uses.
Okay.
But either way, harvest it, money, money, money. Cool.
It's where?
It's just all over the planet. It's
in the sand?
In the sand. Yeah, there's like pockets of it.
Okay.
And you find it and harvest it.
Okay.
And so we are on this planet following the Atreides family. So just picture this. The world of Dune is Star Wars meets Game of Thrones. It's the setting of Star Wars, but the families and the houses and the politics of Game of Thrones and the drama of Game of Thrones. And the violence of Game of Thrones is fairly violent. So we follow the Atreides family. The Duke Leto Atreides is Oscar Isaac. He is the Duke of this planet that he I guess governs this planet called Caladan, and then the Emperor sends him to Arrakis, Dune, desert planet. He sends him there to harvest the spice,
right?
Which is a horrible job, and he's not happy about it, but he does it. So him, his wife Jessica, and his son Paul all move to Dune, Arrakis, desert planet. And Paul is Timothy Chalamet, and Jessica is Rebecca Ferguson in the movie, if you're wondering.
Great.
So they're just one family. So they move there, and then this is how it opens. Paul, Timothy Chalamet, woken up from sleep by his mother and some crazy witch talking about the Kwisatz Haderach, right? The Kwisatz Haderach is apparently like the promised one, and God, man, this book is so hard. I thought I was going to have like a handle on it. But this is, in my defense... You're
doing great so far.
In my defense, it starts out just balls to the walls and just like history.
Yeah.
Thufir Hawat, his father's master of assassins, had explained it. Their mortal enemies, the Harkonnens, had been on Arrakis 80 years, holding the planet under quasi-fife, under Kayam Company contact to mine the geriatric spice, melange. It throws so many names at you.
Here, I mean, what you said earlier about it's shocking that this hasn't caught on in mainstream culture.
Yeah.
That's why.
That's
the reason why.
Right.
It's not the story. It's the fact that it's like so hard to read.
Yes, it is.
Like it's a great story, but it's so hard. Like
it's tough. Man.
Like I would imagine you would read a paragraph and then be like, I don't know what I just read, and have to read it again.
So the first chapter is 15 pages. The first chapter is 15 and like a little bit.
Yeah.
It took me 30 minutes to read that because like I was wondering what Castle Caladan was and all this stuff. And then
Did you go to the appendix?
Yes, I flipped back and forth. So the appendix is broken down into future history books writings on the houses of Dune. So this book takes place in the year
past.
in like 10,000. So the future for us.
Right, but I'm saying according to the appendix itself.
So at the beginning of every chapter, there is a quote from the Princess Irulan, who's quoting something else. She's writing something about the events of this book. So this is the future writing the opening of the chapter and also the appendixes that explain the ecology of Dune, the religion of Dune, report on the Bene Gesserit motives and purposes, the almanac in Ashraf.
Okay.
Yeah, so it breaks down the houses here, like who Leto Atreides is, Lady Jessica, blah, blah, blah. You get it. And then there's a terminology, and this is like your dictionary, right? Yeah, so it is an incredibly difficult thing to wrap your head around. But then the more you read, the more you understand and learn.
You're right.
But the way you're just thrown into it can be overwhelming.
Sure.
So in the simplest of terms, like what do you need to know going into this movie without having it spoiled, right? The Atreides families are the good guys. Oscar Isaac, Paul is Timothy Chalamet and Rebecca
Lady Jessica.
Yeah, Lady Jessica, Rebecca Ferguson. They are all the Atreides family, and they are there to mine the spice and give it or sell it to the emperor who sells it, right?
Just making a living out there.
Making a living. The rivals of this house are the Harkonnen. And they have been living on this planet for years, mining the spice and having like a backlog. So they know that they're here, and they know that there's going to be some conflict, because these aren't your just typical rivals. These are like some evil dudes.
Yeah.
They're led by the Baron Harkonnen, who is Stellan Skarsgård. So he's called the Baron, and he's the leader of the Harkonnen. And his grand plan is to basically sabotage the Atreides from harvesting spice and
Yeah.
so that he can have all the spice.
Sure.
Really simple.
But not.
So in layman's term, I don't want to give away his whole grand plan and betrayals and all that stuff, because that's just a fun ride to get there. There are these people called the Mentats, and they are basically humans with like human robots, essentially. So in the past of this future, there was a great war between man and robots. Terminator style, right? Just classic Terminator style. Humanity won. And
because the batteries ran out of power? Because the robots ran out of battery power?
Had to be.
They just started dropping. Once their iOS update happened, they just started dying off.
It's like, oh, my contacts have been deleted.
Yeah, okay. I'm following.
Yeah. Humans win the war.
Are there still robots, though?
No, because humanity has since banned any like inventors or scientists from creating a robot in the likeness of a human. So no AI, no Terminator stuff.
Right.
Smart.
Fair.
Yeah, fair after, a giant war.
Sure.
So there are the only sort of like robots left are these Mentats, and they are humans who have like robotic qualities about them. They have blue eyes, blue on blue eyes. So it's like the white of your eyes is blue, and then the iris of your eyes are like a little bit darker of a blue. And they are basically the only thing that makes them special is they can take in a lot of data and then have a good strategy to come out of it. Like they're normally in like right-hand mans to, the Baron or the Duke or something like that. Like they're strategists. Because they can compute all this crazy information and say what they're probably going to do and have a strategy for that. So let's see what. Trying to think of where to go from here. Are you following?
I'm trying to.
It's a lot, isn't it?
It is a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm following.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm following.
Okay. So we get to Dune. the Duke is starting his spice harvesting, right?
Right.
And then there are natives that live on the planet Dune. So there are the Atreides, the good guys who have come to harvest the spice.
Mm-hmm.
There are the Harkonnens
who have been harvesting. Have a beef with the newcomers.
Yeah, and then there are people who are born and raised on Dune, on Arrakis. They're called the Fremen. So they're basically like mountain people who just, do what they have to do to survive. And they have all these different ways of surviving. And they basically come to the Atreides family. And in a way, they offer an alliance because they know that they're there for what's better for their planet. Where the Harkonnens they're just bad dudes.
Right.
So it's very cool to see like the Fremen really, really are the heart of this story.
The natives
of Arrakis. They're the heart of this story, like truly the heart. And they wear these suits. Anytime you go out into Arrakis, you have to wear these suits called still suits. And what they do, that's what you see in like all the pictures in the trailer, like the gray suits, and he's got like the nose thing. Yeah. So still suits recycle your body's water, like sweat, tears, any fluid. It basically recycles it, and so you can drink that water. So it's constantly just recycling your body's water. Pretty gross, but
But you got to do what you got to do to survive on Dune.
Exactly. They also, if anyone dies, they call like blood your life water. Mm-hmm. So if anyone dies, they like preserve them so that they have their life water. Because I guess
drink their blood.
It's real hard. It's hard to understand. I don't know if there's some way that they turn it into water or if they just straight up like drink blood.
Yeah.
I don't think they do. I don't even know if they drink it. I just know that they make a real big deal about life water and how like
they just like it.
They just really
like your life water.
It's just like, look at my collection of life water, and it's just a bunch of dead bodies.
It's just like branded like vitamin water. Life water.
Life water.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's basically it in a nutshell. Is that everything that everyone needs to know going into seeing Dune, the movie, when it is released?
I would think so.
It's still
everything else. Like I can go really deep into it, but I want to leave some mystery for the movie, right?
Sure.
But I want to at least like it. That's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. And it took me at least 200 pages to get into the story, like connect with it, because I was so busy. Like, what is happening? What is a Quidat's Haderach? And what is a Gam Jabbar and the Bene Gesserit?
Sure.
I need to talk about the Bene Gesserit. Paul's mom, Lady Jessica, is what's called a Bene Gesserit. And they are basically I can only think of the word cult, but it's basically just a group of women only who, like, you are taken from your time of birth and trained as a Bene Gesserit, and they basically teach you how to control your emotions, control your heart rate, and they're like warrior witches essentially. They don't do any spells or anything like that, but they can control a lot of things.
So there is like a magic element to it.
There is.
It's not just sci-fi.
It's not just sci-fi.
It's not just sci-fi and human android hybrids.
Right. They're not straight up witches. And like the spice, if you have an ability, it can enhance it. Like you can see into the future. That's why the wealthy love this drug. It like enhances everything about you. And
gotcha.
It's also like gasoline for space travel. It makes it possible.
Right. So is the spice only found on this one planet?
Yes. That's it. Like it's only on Arrakis. Desert planet.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of politics, but it's like Game of Thrones style politics.
Right.
Whereas like it's a lot of talking and a lot of planning, and backstabbing, but it always comes to a head in a really satisfying way. Like, I was never just bored reading about politics and whose allegiance lie with who and who's planning what. Like, it's always very interesting,
Right.
and it always pays off big. It did take me a while to get into it, but when I got into it, it's going to be a fun time. It's going to be really cool to see. I don't think that there's anything else, like, without getting into spoilers. Like, I want to leave some intrigue and some mystery.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, do you have any other questions? Or
I guess
that?
I guess the only other thing I would say is, like, in summary, like, if you were just breaking it down into, like, need to know based on, like what's your elevator pitch for the story? I know that's kind of a loaded question, but like, for those of you watching who are lost, like, what would your, like, final elevator pitch, like, if you're walking into the movie theater and someone is buying popcorn in front of you and they turn to you and say, I have no idea what Dune is about.
Yeah.
Can you just give me a quick, like, what would you tell them?
Okay. It's about the Atreides family. They're a royal family who moved to Arrakis, which is Dune, to harvest a drug called spice, only found on this planet.
Mm-hmm.
Their rivals live there.
Mm-hmm.
Their rivals live there, and there's a lot of, like, political drama that goes on, and then it leads into, like, a tragedy and betrayal, and then this family deals with that, and with the help of the natives of this planet, they go to war.
And there you have it. That's Dune for you.
That's Dune. Oh, and there's big old worms.
Oh yeah, and there's big worms.
There's big old worms.
Alaskan bullworms.
But yeah, and it's really cool too. I don't know how much they're going to touch on in the movie, but every single thing on the planet.
Does anyone ride a worm?
Yeah. Every single thing on the planet is a stepping stone of the next thing. Like, there is no spice without the sandworms, and there is no sandworms without, this other thing, and there is no anything without, like, the basic
it's the circle of life.
Right. And the way that he writes this in the book is very, very cool.
Mm.
And I would definitely say, at this point, just watch the movie, and if you enjoyed the movie a lot, then dive into the book, because this book is ridiculous. It's really hard at times. Like, over quarantine, I've started reading a lot more books, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I just hopped off of reading, like, 10 Percy Jackson books.
And that's not quite as difficult.
It's not hard. Like,
Dune.
it's probably like 100 words a page, real light, real easy, and then you jump into, like, just Arrakis and the politics, and, like, it's crazy. It's really cool.
But it has your stamp. This has been Braden's book club.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for joining Braden's book club.
I'm in 3 book clubs right now.
Wow.
It's too many book clubs.
Wow.
I can't. That's 3 books.
It's a lot of books.
Yeah. But anyways, I read this one by myself. It was real hard.
Well, I'm glad you got through
my
it.
AR points this year are going to be out the roof.
Yeah, you're going to get like a Tamagotchi or something.
I'm going to get that. I'm going to get into that ice cream party for
that ice cream party from reading all those books.
Not a question. This better be worth at least 30 points.
It's going to be. It's going to be.
Yeah. It's good, but it's
I wonder how much Dune. Let me look. Let's see. Hold on. I wonder if there's like a list of AR point.
Oh, totally. I'm going to say it's worth 40 points. Anything less is ridiculous. 600 pages. You're learning about a whole new world, whole new society, all these politics in the game.
Please tell us who you are. Are we a student, a parent, a teacher, or a librarian?
Student. No, librarian.
We're librarians.
Yeah.
Submit. Quick search. Dune.
Frank Herbert. Soon to be a major motion
Dune
picture.
is worth 28 AR points.
You're kidding me. How much is a Harry Potter book?
Which one?
Just do Order of the Phoenix, because that one's that's a fat boy.
Yeah, that is a fat boy.
But it's still a kid's book, real easy to get.
It's searching. It's searching.
28 AR points. Oh,
Order of the Phoenix is worth 44 AR points.
You're kidding me. You're joking me. How many pages is Order of the Phoenix?
It's a lot of pages.
Yeah, but this is 600.
I mean, it's up there.
I'm sure it's like 700, 800 pages.
Captain Underpants is worth 1 point. Do we need to explain what AR points, accelerated reader points, are to
Surely
anyone
not.
listening?
Just in case.
Accelerated. I'm trying to think of the best way to explain accelerated reader. Basically, when you're in elementary school, you read a book and then you take a test on the book, and depending on how well you do on the test, you get points.
Right.
And those points are banked, and then over the course of the school year, the more points you get, the more reward you get at the end of the year, like a pizza party,
exactly.
or an ice cream party.
Your teacher would have different rewards.
Yeah.
Like you hit 20 and you get like to be teacher's assistant for like a day.
Yeah, you hit 10 and you're a line leader.
Right. Yeah. You get bathroom breaks and stupid stuff.
Or you just get like a little eraser.
Right.
That was what I got. I think most times was like you can pick something out of the box, and it was like little erasers and like those little monsters that you could put on your pencils that had little arms. Stuff like that.
Pro tip: if you did well, I don't know if any elementary school kids reading or watching this.
No, that's not our demographic.
Not our demo. Books in the Bible are worth a lot of points.
Oh, let me look at that.
Just pick out your favorite, and let's
see how much Revelation is worth.
Oh God, you can choose a hard one.
Wait, it's like giving me books called Revelation, not like the Bible.
Go like Job.
They're not on here.
Really? I took like 3 or 4 because books of the Bible are fairly short, depending on the book. Anyways, it doesn't matter. But I'm just saying the system is broken because if I only got 28 points for reading this, I would have been so mad.
Where you could have gotten 44 for reading Order of the Phoenix.
Which is so easy.
What's the highest? I want to look up.
What's the highest AR point book?
AR point book. Let's find out.
Okay.
Aragon is 25 points.
I read that. This year. I just read that.
Let's see. I see 21 Fable Heaven. Keys to the Demon Prison.
Hey.
That's worth 21 points.
That's a book in the Bible,
32
isn't it?
Goblet of Fire.
Okay.
34 Deathly Hallows.
Order of the Phoenix is 48?
44, I think.
44? Oh my gosh.
I think Order of the Phoenix is the longest book, though. I think. Don't quote me on that, but if I remember
I think you're right. Because
it felt like the longest.
Yeah.
It doesn't say on here. Swiss Family Robinson is worth 25, so Swiss Family Robinson is worth as much as Dune, pretty much.
That's so dumb. The system is broken. Do you hear me? The American school system is a joke. You know what I didn't want to learn in school? I didn't want to learn anything about, like, geometry. But I also didn't want to learn important life skills like taxes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All I'm asking for is just proper representation in the AR points system.
Yeah. Who gauges that?
I don't know. I don't care about anything else about the education system. I don't care.
Except
but
for
I want accurate
the Scholastic
AR points.
Book Fair.
Man, what a legendary event.
It was. Unless you're me and you didn't have any money. That's true. Scholastic Book Fair was like the coolest.
Didn't want to read.
Huh? No, unless you walk in. Your friends are walking in with $40 and you're walking in with like a $5 bill.
Yeah, but you get stickers.
Yeah, but still, I want like a book that comes with a magic pen. They had some cool stuff at Scholastic Book Fair, but
that's true.
The rich get richer at Scholastic Book Fair.
The system's broken.
The system's broke up.
We need to topple this AR Scholastic Book Fair system to the ground.
To the ground.
Do you hear me, people? It's time to rise up.
Rise up. We will not take it anymore.
The spice.
The spice. We should have done that every time you said the spice while explaining it. There's just like in the background, it's just like the spice. That would have been cool.
What if we said?
We can't do it now.
What if we said the spice melange? Ready? Or we should try it out. The spice melange.
That was it. Put some reverb on that.
That's good
one more
stuff.
time.
The spice melange.
That had a lot of reverb on it. That one. Anyway, that's Dune. Are we keeping the Dune lights if we're not talking about Dune anymore?
We don't have to. What color would you like?
Speaking something nice and cool. It's so hot in here. Whoa. It's so cold.
It's an Arctic wind now.
It is cold in here all of a sudden. Speaking of Harry Potter books, let's talk about the new PlayStation and the Harry. Did you see the trailer for the Wizarding World game?
Yeah, I did. First off, are you going to get that PlayStation?
Yes.
Which one are you going to get? You going to go digital or are you going to go the disc one?
I don't know. I want to say digital, but I don't know. It's so bright in here now.
It's so bright.
I
want to go back to Arrakis.
So orange. What are the differences really?
So,
one you can put actual games like discs in, and one you just download everything onto.
The con of the digital is you can't use it as like a Blu-ray player.
Right.
You can't play movies or anything. But like that's also outdated too. So I get the appeal of the digital. I'm a sucker for like physical copies of
I don't
things.
know. I just know that most times I just want to download a game and not like if I want a game I just want
either way you
instant
have to
gratification.
Download it. Yeah, either way.
I guess that's the main.
Even if you put the disc in, it still has to download something, so it doesn't really matter.
Oh shoot! I was fixing Godzilla's head and he fell. I don't know, but that new Harry Potter, it's not a Harry Potter game. It's a Wizarding World game.
Yeah.
It takes place at Hogwarts.
Yeah,
that's the game that I've been waiting. I've been talking about this game for years.
Really.
Like my pitch for a Wizarding World game was in the context of the Marauders, which is, Harry Potter's father and his best friends at Hogwarts. I wanted a game that was called the Marauders, or like the Wizarding World Marauders, where basically you play as Remus, James, Sirius, and Peter Pettigrew, like you switch between those three characters, and it goes through their relationship of them discovering that Lupin, like you go from the first year, and then it kind of goes through all the years of you discovering that Lupin is a werewolf becoming an animagus, all that stuff.
Yeah. Here's one question I have, because I haven't read the books yet.
Right.
But are they a group of bullies?
I mean,
are they all bullies, or is it just
think
James? Or is James only a bully to
I think it's
Snape?
It's kind of gray. It's kind of a gray thing. They're definitely not cool to
Sirius.
Severus Snape.
Severus.
They're not cool to Severus Snape, obviously, but they're not like really bullies to anybody else. It's hard. It's difficult.
Yeah.
It's kind of a gray area. They don't really, Snape. And a lot of it in the books, there's a lot to be said about context, because you only really see it from Snape's perspective.
Yeah. And,
maybe he's projecting because he's in love with Lily. Maybe he remembers things a lot differently than they really were. They do bully him though at one point. And I know that I know that ends up being like a regret of theirs. I
want a video game as just Snape, just pouting, like going through
and avoiding people in the hallways and stuff.
Yeah. It's like a stealth mission, but it has no consequences. You just don't want to be seen.
But I think the thing about a game like that what would really be cool about it is that you have the Marauders map, and as you it's open world, and as you discover different rooms in the school, they appear on the Marauders map.
That'd be cool.
Like when you go to like the map menu.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's super
and
cool.
then like you can like if you go up to someone, you can like do some sort of combination of buttons to where
Yeah.
you put them on the map and you can see how they walk
That'd
around,
be
but you have to
cool.
like sneak up behind them or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's
pretty cool.
That's not accurate because in the Marauders map you can just see everyone, but
Yeah.
I think it would be cool. I
really
think that
cool.
would be cool because it would work in an open world context where you're basically the whole game is you trying to make the map, like
Yeah.
finish it
Yeah.
and find all the rooms.
Be
But then
cool.
you also discover, because the Marauders map also has all the hidden passages to go, to Hogsmeade and stuff like that. So it would be cool to be open world to where you find the passage to Hogsmeade and then you open up that part of the game
Yeah.
where you can like go down there.
That'd be
And
cool.
you open up, the Shrieking Shack, and you open up, that's not what it's gonna be. But my hope is that the game is just open world. One,
I think it is open
two.
world.
My other hope is that you can play online, and
Oh,
if
yeah.
you
Just
create
go
a
to
character
shenanigans.
and
Yeah.
I create a character, then we can play online together and
Yeah.
do stuff and do missions and stuff.
I would design my character to look like Hermione as a cat. Remember?
Yeah.
Was that
just
whichever
scary
one
cat.
that was? Yeah, just cat lady.
I think that's Chamber of Secrets.
Yeah, it's one of the first two I know, but that's-
Yeah, totally. My character would be it would just be Snape. It would just be emo Snape.
Snape
Just
even
emo.
emo
Yeah, even more, it's just Kylo
More
Ren,
edgy.
Snape. The angst of drama. No, the game looks that game looks awesome, and then obviously
I hope the
Whomping Willow.
Yeah, I hope it's a playable character.
Can't go anywhere. You just smack
Yeah.
smack anything that gets close
Yeah,
to you.
that'd be awesome. That'd be so fun.
That game looks cool. There's the new Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I guess that's going to be on PlayStation 4 as well, but the Miles Morales Spider-Man,
Yeah.
which they released the gameplay for that.
Yeah.
Look cool.
Um,
What else was there that they...
for PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
There's going to be a Smeagol game. Did you see
I did
that?
see that.
That was weird.
Yeah.
Cool, but weird. You want a whole game of Smeagol?
That's what I'm saying. No. That's why it's weird to me, because it's not something that anybody asked for.
Yeah. One thing that is cool to me though is this is not in any way related to the movie.
Right.
This is purely out of the book. So it's a completely different Middle Earth. It's not based off New Zealand like the movies and everything are. It is from the page to the game. All the descriptions of the landscape, and Smeagol himself is from that. Which I don't know how, I haven't read the books, so I don't know how far off it was, but that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah. Isn't he huge? Isn't he bigger?
Know. I think he's bigger. We need to just call my sisters. Should I just call Michaela?
Sure.
Call McFly.
He's one of the 3 early Hobbit types, but not a Hobbit.
Oh, so I guess I could hang up.
Bye. If she
Hello?
picks up, ask her.
Hey, is Smeagol, was he originally a hobbit like he was in the movie?
They're like hobbits.
Okay.
They're river people. They live close. And
Are
they're
they called a
very similar,
store?
but they're not the same.
Okay.
One of the 3 early Hobbit types.
Okay. So are they ancestors of the hobbits?
I don't know that. I don't think so. I think they're just kind of like a cousin creature, maybe.
Okay. Okay. Well, if you're wrong, you only have the whole internet to answer to because you're on Podzilla right now. So thank you.
You're joking me?
No. Are you excited?
She made it. She's our first caller. Our first.
I'm trying to think if I have any. Oh, is he described any differently in the book than he is
Because in the game,
movie?
he's like a giant. He's huge. Isn't he? I'm
His
looking
eyes,
at pictures.
They have glints in them throughout the story, depending on his mood. And I don't think they did that in the movies.
But he crawls around and he's in a loincloth and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, cool. Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Tell everybody your name.
I'm Michaela.
This has been Michaela.
What's your credit score?
My what?
Never mind. I'll talk to you later for our book club.
Okay.
Love you. Bye.
I love you. Bye.
Aw, what a sweet girl.
We're reading the Aragon books together.
Well, you need to start reading the Lord of the Rings books together.
I guess so.
Let me look. I'm playing the trailer. Hold on. Because he looks big.
Music's cool.
There's a picture where he's like huge. I mean, he looks like the Andy Serkis.
Yeah, he does. I read an article before they released this that they were going to be different.
His mouth looks weird. His mouth is like... Oh, that was it. It was just the teaser.
Yeah, that's it. I'm interested to see, is this like when he had the ring? And he was just like,
just chilling in the cave.
Chilling with the ring.
I don't know.
And then what's your combat like? Is there any combat? You just jump on people's backs
or are you
and
just
like
walking around?
nibble on them?
That's what I'm saying. Like this picture I'm looking at that you can't see, but it's in the middle of us.
Yeah. Okay.
He's like, unless he's closer to the camera and someone's further away, but it looks like he's looking at them. I don't know. I thought he was like it looked like they made him a giant in
Would
this
you
game.
rather him be a giant Gollum? That'd be pretty cool. What if he got in like a fist fight with one of the ring wraiths, but he's like as big as their dragon?
That'd be pretty dope, actually.
He just fights the ring wraith dragon.
The longer he wears the ring, the bigger he becomes. And the longer he's without it, he shrinks down and shrivels down.
The Fib from outer space.
Man, I don't know. Like, no, he doesn't look big in any of those other pictures except for that one picture.
Oh. Yeah, it's a weird thing. What other obscure Lord of the Rings character deserves a game more?
Gimli.
Not anybody in the Fellowship.
Like
a real obscure character who just deserves a backstory.
Arwen. Isn't she just left for dead? Like,
I would love the whole game. It's like a 10-hour game.
She's just waiting,
and it's just the and she's just like,
she's just waiting on the return.
Return of the what?
The king.
Oh.
It all goes full circle.
We're making connections. This episode is golden.
That would be a crap game.
You're like, hit circle to spin, and she just like,
you just walk around at the empty halls like of
Riverdale?
Rivendell.
Archie comes out.
Riverdale.
What you doing?
We need a mashup where like some sort of cosmic explosion happens and all of the Riverdale characters end up in Rivendell and all of the Rivendell characters end up in Riverdale.
Could you imagine, what's the king's name? Like the king elf?
Hugo Weaving?
Yeah. Like his Majesty Hugo Weaving, whatever his name is just in Riverdale at the diner, and he's just like
eating one of Pop's burgers and having a milkshake.
He's just like
that'd be pretty fun, actually.
That would be fun.
It's just open world, but you just walk around.
Just walk around.
You walk past like random in-game characters and like, what in the world? As they're walking,
It's like Red Dead.
Yeah, it's like Red Dead kind of characters. Like, he's like, you've got your bow out, and he's like, put that thing away. Like, as he's
you
walking
got
away.
a problem, feller.
That'd be.
You walk into the woods and you see a murder because it's Riverdale, and he's just like, I don't care.
Yeah,
he just keeps
I've
walking.
seen worse. Or he just does some like elvish voodoo on the body and just.
Meanwhile, one of the Sprouse brothers are like jumping off the waterfall in Riverdale.
They're just trying to get rid of that jingle jangle. That's the Riverdale drug. Jingle Jangle.
Is it really?
It is in a season.
I've never seen an
They're
episode.
like pushing Jingle Jangle.
I'm just going off of trailers.
That show is. I watch it. We watch it for all the wrong. Like we watch it just It's so. It's just.
It's so bad.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, dude. I can't even. That's a whole other episode just talking about how crazy Riverdale is. Basically, there was a season where there was like this cult, and the cult leader was played by Chad Michael Murray. And Chad Michael Murray, the season ended with him building a rocket and wearing an Evel Knievel jumpsuit and trying to like shoot himself into outer space.
No way. But
Yeah,
is
that's
this
how
like
the season ended?
Is it being serious or is it being like stupid?
It's taking itself very seriously. They're all in high school and they're all like
25.
Archie's like he gets like put in this like a jail, and he's like in this underground fight club where all these rich people like bet on fighters, and Archie's like a fighter, and Veronica's dad is like this like mob boss, like drug dealer. It's Kelly Ripa's husband, Mark Consuelos. And dude, this show's crazy. Betty has her dad's a serial killer.
Okay.
Spoilers. And she has the serial killer gene, and so she like keeps having these weird flashbacks where she killed a cat.
Hold up. Okay. This is worse than Dune. I can't keep up.
It is. It's crazy. And also Archie is a high school student, but he also owns a gym and runs his dad's construction company and still goes to high school. Veronica owns Pop's Diner and a speakeasy downstairs, where she sells alcohol and stuff, but she's also going to high school. What else? Cheryl Blossom like has this, her brother died and she's obsessed with her brother, and there's like this doll that just like appears in their house in random places, and she believes that her brother's spirit is inside of it or something.
No way.
What else? There's a lot of stuff going on in that show.
Oh my God.
Those are just all the things I can think of off the top of my head.
Never once knew. Wow.
Yeah, those are all the things I can. That's not even the tip of the iceberg, dude. That show is crazy.
I was over at my parents' house last night, and I finally got them to watch Umbrella Academy. They're loving it. They're having a great time. My mom said, we've only got 2 episodes left, so I think...
Of season 2?
Yeah, of season 2. And I think we're going to watch The Boys after that. And I was like...
They're not going to like... your mom's not going to like The Boys.
And
Did you tell her not to?
I said,
It's not the same.
I don't... that's what I told her. I was like, it's rough, Mom.
Yeah.
And then Sydney was like, my mom watches it. And I was like, does she? She said, well, I think. And I was like, I don't know. And I told her, I was like, it's real. It's real rough.
It's rough.
It's rough.
It's not a mom show.
And she said, well, what's bad about it? And I was like, well, the language is bad. And she loves the movie, The Gentleman, the newer movie that came out this year.
Yeah.
And they say the C word a lot in it. And I was like, well,
cookies.
Yeah, he says cookies a lot. And she said, or I told her that it was the same type of like language that's in The Gentleman. And she's like, well, that's okay. I can handle that. And I was like, well, there's a lot of
gore and blood.
A lot of a gore. And then I was like, you know what? If you really want to watch it, watch the very first episode. And then if you can handle that, you're good to go. Because
the season 2 gets way, way crazier on the like gore and weird stuff.
Gore, yes, but like language and I mean,
we're only a couple episodes into season 2, also, but still.
But I told her, I was like, watch the first one if you can get through that and like the sex brothel that they have and all that craziness. I was like, if you can get through that, you go on your merry way. And I was like, well, I don't like it that much. It's so good.
It's so good. It's better than the Umbrella
It's
Academy.
So good. I forgot how good it was until like the week before.
Season 2's like leveled up majorly.
Yes. It's so good. You want to talk about it?
Yeah, we can talk about it for a second. We're going to, first of all, for all the moms listening, which is 2, Umbrella Academy.
Go for it.
The Boys, Don't
No.
do it.
No.
I cannot recommend The Boys to any mom.
No.
With that being said,
it made me feel guilty that I watched it because I
And
had to
here's-
look her
and-
in her eyes and be like, "No, mom."
and here's the hard part is I'm saying, Mom, don't watch this, but then in the next sentence, which is this one,
Yeah.
this is the reason that she's not gonna like what I'm saying.
Uh-huh.
The Boys is better than Umbrella Academy.
So good.
And season 2 of The Boys is so much. Remember, we did an episode where we both said we were looking forward to Umbrella Academy more than The Boys.
Yep. How
stupid are we?
So dumb.
That's the dumbest thing
So
I've
dumb.
ever said in my life.
Yep. It's so good.
I think I just when you think about The Boys season 1 and when you think about Umbrella Academy season 1,
Yeah.
they give different things.
Yeah.
Like when you look back on Umbrella Academy, you think about, oh, that was so fun.
Right.
It's such a fun show.
Yes.
When you think back on The Boys, you just think about, man, it was
it's-
dark.
yeah.
It was, but the story of
It's
The Boys
so
is so
good.
much better.
It's so good.
And
I
season
rewatched-
2 is
yeah.
just, I
I
can't.
rewatched season 1. Like I finished it the day before season 2 dropped. Or
Yeah.
The first 3 episodes.
Yeah.
It's way better in every way.
Yeah.
In every way. Not that the Umbrella Academy is bad, but
No, Umbrella Academy
The
is
Boys
so
is
fun and so good.
excellent.
The Boys is just, man, that's a masterpiece of a show right now.
Yeah. Well, after that, I'm sure Mom is going to go and watch it.
Yeah, but we've said enough at this point that neither my mom nor your mom, if they watch The Boys at this point, we are not obligated for any sort of emotional reaction that they have to that show.
Yeah.
I would, if you're a mom, don't watch The Boys. It's not a mom show. It's just not.
It's not. It's not.
And-
But let's talk about season 2. How do
Okay,
you feel
so
about
season
week to
2,
week? First off, how do you feel about it being week to week?
I like it and I hate it
Me too.
at the same time.
too.
I like the idea of a serialized show because it allows you to
Simmer with it.
it allows you to think on the episode and it gives you something to look forward to on Fridays.
Yeah.
Which I do. You
Yeah,
know, like every
absolutely.
Friday I'm like,
Let's do it.
let's watch The
Yeah.
Boys. Like it's awesome. Or most times it's Saturday morning, like when
Yeah.
Heather and I are, you know, we'll get up in the morning, we'll make breakfast and we'll watch The Boys. It's become like a Saturday morning thing.
That's awesome.
But oh man, season 2. Where do we even begin to talk about it?
Do you?
Man.
Yeah. I don't know. Where do you want to start? You want to start? Let's start with Stormfront.
Yeah, so the Seven, which is the Avengers of their Vought Industries, they're basically
Justice.
basically the Justice League. You know, you've got Homelander, who's your Superman. You've got Black Noir, who's your Batman. You've got
Queen Maeve.
Who's
is
your Wonder Woman. You've got you know,
got everybody.
You've got your Speedster. You've got your
Yeah.
water superhero. Season 1, they introduced
Starlight.
I was about to say Stormfront. That's season 2.
Yeah.
Season 1, they introduced Starlight, who is like a new girl superhero who can control like energy bursts, and she can basically control energy like from any energy source, whether it's lights and then she can also like shoot plasma energy. Anyway, she was introduced in season 1. Realized that Vought Industries, who basically owns the superhero, is just this big production company that basically uses superheroes as a media source, you know, but they're really terrible, terrible people.
Yeah.
Anyway, season 2, you know, we're introduced to Stormfront, who's the new superhero, who's like this goes against the grain superhero. She's like streaming on her phone the first time she meets Homelander and Lady Maeve. She's kind of fronting this political revolution of, you know, superheroes being untrustworthy. She's kind of, you know, she's got like this, she's edgy because she's got the side of her head shaved.
Yeah.
She's kind of sexually ambiguous, which, you know, like politically, you know, people like, whereas someone like Homelander, who's kind of an old school,
Right.
you know, red-blooded American superhero, you know, he's kind of the old figure of, the old standard of superhero, right? He's kind of Superman. He's kind of outdated in modern politics, you know.
Right.
And at the end of the day, the seven, the superhero group, are really only used as a political front, to sell movie merchandising and to kind of sell to the general public a sense of peace.
Yeah.
But it's not real.
Right.
Season 2, basically, you come to find out at this end of season 1 that no one is a superhero, that Compound V is a chemical that is given to children and babies, and it's what gives you your superpowers.
Yeah.
You can't choose your superpowers, but it basically affects your body chemistry, and you get whatever superpowers you get.
Yeah.
Now, in season 2, pretty early on, it's released that Compound V is, it's given to the mainstream media that, so crap hits the fan that superheroes aren't born superheroes, they're bred.
Yeah.
Which there's a lot of drama there. I'm trying to give like a synopsis. What else? Like I don't know where to even begin with this season. We'd have to do like an episode to episode thing, Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we should talk about it at whenever the season's over.
Maybe
just like give our review of it. I think it's great so far.
Maybe, yeah.
Do you think that they're going to use Compound V, the boys?
Well, in the comic books, Huey does.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, well,
spoiler alert.
There you go.
Yeah. So I don't fully remember at this point. It's been a long time. I believe that Huey is somehow given Compound V. He attains the superpower of, I'm pretty sure he can withstand any amount of pain and not feel it. And he might have some other stuff. But in the comics, Huey, at least I know, ends up with, I don't know about Butcher and Mother's Milk and Frenchie.
Hey, Mother's Milk is awesome in this season.
Yeah.
He's having some real nice episodes.
Yeah, totally. Frenchie's kind of boring right now, but I feel like there's gonna be a good payoff between Frenchie's story and the female.
Yeah, the female.
Her brother makes an appearance. I don't want to spoil anything, but
I know.
Craziness. This show's wild.
Yeah, it's so good. We'll talk about it when it's over.
You go ahead, Braden. Give it to him.
Wow. Thank you everybody so much for watching. Sorry we've been gone so long. It is what it is these days. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. We're gonna be much more consistent. I should probably say this. It has been me, not David. Just been busy. David's the consistent one.
No,
so I'm sorry, everybody. I'm sorry.
No, sometimes life happens, and we've said it before, and we have other jobs and other responsibilities, and sometimes there are just seasons where Braden's just worked.
Sorry,
overworked.
Everybody. Nah.
It happens. And it takes as much as, even though this is an hour-long show, it still requires
set up and
multiple hours to do, and so sometimes there's just not enough time in the day.
Yeah.
But
we missed it, and we're going to be back much, much more consistently.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun time. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked what you saw and you want to subscribe, make sure to like and subscribe. Yeah. We'll be around much more. We got some really cool stuff on the horizon.
Yeah, totally.
If you want to follow us on Instagram, you can follow us at The PODZILLA Show. If you want to email us, you can email us anything, topics, questions, concerns, whatever.
Yeah, we want emails. We love getting emails.
We love talking to the community. Leave us a comment down below. You can email us at ThePODZILLAShow at gmail.com.
Totally. Also, and finally, I don't know if you might have noticed, but we have a new poster in the middle here. It is kind of, we're getting close to wrapping up our first quote unquote season of Podzilla. And before we get into season 2, we had some of these posters made. It says Attack of Podzilla. It's got me and Braden on it. We've got these cool shirts on. I've got a Faith Attire t-shirt on. Braden, what shirt do you have there?
Only Hope Supply shirt.
So we're repping some of our favorite apparel companies on it. Anyway, the first 2 people to send us a question or something to talk about at our email will receive these posters for free. That's it.
Just because.
just because we want to send you something.
David made a
we
cool
might,
picture, and we like hearing from you guys.
And if we get more than 2, then we might send out. But the first 2 will absolutely get one for free, and then we might send out 10. Who knows?
Who knows?
So send us a question, send us something to talk about. We'll plug it on the show. We'll give you a shout out, and we will send you a poster for absolutely $0 to you. So thank you for joining us on this episode. And until next week, go read Dune. Or don't.
Or don't.
Go watch the movie, the one from the 80s.
The Spice Melange.
Until next time, Spice Melange. Goodbye, everybody.